First of all, who are the Proud Boys?
The Proud Boys connection is certainly concerning.
It's a bad time to be a Proud Boy.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
What would it take to bankrupt the far-right, street-brawling Proud Boys? Well, one of the oldest historically black churches in America may be about to find out, with a lawsuit that could crack open their financial secrets. Here's how. Being a Proud Boy isn't as cheap as it looks. There are plane tickets to rallies across the country, and hotel rooms. There are medical bills after all the aggro, marching, and shouting leads to the seemingly inevitable fisticuffs. And there's merch. Tactical vests, radios, helmets, Proud Boy hats, Proud Boy scarves, and tasteful home decor. There's White Claw. Like, a lot of White Claw.
White Claw! White Claw! Mango White Claw!
And then there are the legal fees, including defense attorneys for more than 24 alleged members and associates of the Proud Boys charged with crimes related to the January 6th siege on the Capitol.
You want to fight? You better believe you got one!
And that's hardly their only legal battle. The Proud Boys also picked a fight with one of the oldest black churches in D.C. The whole thing started last December, during a so-called Million MAGA March protesting the election results. It turns out putting million in your event's name doesn't guarantee turnout, which was estimated in the thousands. Still, it was a rough day in DC. There were fights, 4 stabbings, and 33 arrests, and the Proud Boys were there in droves. At least 2 churches had their Black Lives Matter signs torn down that day, and videos showed the Proud Boys doing it. Here they are burning a BLM banner stolen from Asbury United Methodist, and here they are outside Metropolitan AME. In January, that 149-year-old church filed a civil lawsuit accusing the group of committing acts of terror and saying the vandalism, quote, amounted to a new and dangerous chapter in the long and terrible history of white supremacist mob violence targeting black houses of worship. Lawsuits have proven successful against the far right before. The KKK was ordered to fork over $2.5 million in 2008 to a teenager who was beaten up by Klan members. In 2019, Andrew Anglin, founder of the neo-Nazi website The Daily Stormer, got slapped with a $14 million judgment after a Jewish family accused him of publishing their personal information online, triggering a troll storm. Metropolitan AME's lawsuit is seeking compensation for the property and emotional damage allegedly caused by the Proud Boys, naming multiple defendants.
With this lawsuit, we are making clear that we will not allow the Proud Boys to carry out mob violence with impunity.
One defendant is a Texas company called Proud Boys International, but it might be a dead end. The company was set up by a lawyer who now claims he's had nothing to do with the Proud Boys in 2 years, and that the company is defunct and has no assets. But the church has questioned the lawyer's story, pointing out that he's owned the Proud Boys US trademark since 2018 and only terminated a licensing deal with the Proud Boys leadership to use the trademark in February. Another defendant is very publicly connected to the Proud Boys. This guy.
Trump 2024!
That's Henry Enrique Tarrio, the group's chairman. Tarrio says that because the Proud Boys aren't a legal entity, they can't be sued. And he told us that if the church lawyers try to go after his personal assets, he'd be, quote, happy to drag his balls across their face in court. But getting ballsy might be a bad idea, especially if the gang's notoriety and involvement in the Capitol riot inspires the judge to try and teach them a lesson. If that happens, legal experts say that going after Tarrio's money would be relatively straightforward. But it could also empower the church to take a big next step, figuring out how to collect through an investigation backed up by the court's subpoena power. There are a couple ways that could go down. One is that the church's lawyers could identify any of the 8 John Doe Proud Boys who are also named in the suit. And if they're found liable, the assets of those people could become the church's assets. While that would require some tricky legal maneuvering, the stakes are huge. It could unravel the inner workings of the high-profile gang and reveal how the group funds its operations. and there may be a lot to find. Which is where one of my colleagues at Vice News, Tess Owen, enters the picture. Talk to me, Tess.
I tracked down business records linking prominent Proud Boys to a network of companies in Florida and beyond. There are lucrative crowdfunding operations and at least one online store selling Proud Boys branded merch. This web of businesses surrounding the Proud Boys offers a glimpse into their side hustles, short-lived dreams, and business relationships past and present.
They've hawked everything from protein powder to gun-themed t-shirts. There's the 1776 shop, an online marketplace. It sells a $200 InfoWars battle horn for when you're vastly outnumbered by Antifa, album art for a Proud Boy anthem, Antifa hose, and caps featuring popular Proud Boy slogans like "Fuck around and find out," "Proud of your boy," or "Right-wing death squad." Speaking of merch, if you're really into Roger Stone, I've got good news. He has his own section on the shop's site. And for just $200, the site will send you your very own personalized voicemail.
Hi, this is Roger Stone, and you've reached Enrique Terrio. He can't come to the phone right now because he's probably too busy fighting for freedom.
There are even more odd connections to the group. There's the confusingly named Daiquiri Brothers, a company registered by the founder of the Proud Boys Hawaii chapter, Nick Ox. Does it sell daiquiris? Are brothers making the daiquiris? Or are they sold only to brothers? Or has it got nothing to do with delicious fruity frozen drinks? Then there's Fat Enzo, run by West Palm Beach Proud Boy Robert Piccirillo, aka Bobby Pickles, which prints stylized images of Italian-American mobsters in t-shirts with Hunter S. Thompson slogans. There's even Murder the Media, a loosely organized Proud Boy-affiliated news crew producing podcast and YouTube content whose name was scrawled on the Capitol building on January 6th. These days, a lot of Proud Boy activity has involved crowdfunding large amounts of cash in short amounts of time to pay for legal fees. Tario, for example, raised over $80,000 through the Christian fundraising site Give, Send, Go after he was arrested on January 4th on his way into Washington, D.C. on a warrant related to the banner-burning incident at the Asbury Church. The cops claim they also found oversized gun magazines in his bag. Tario pleaded not guilty to all charges. The moment police released him, he got served with the legal papers for the Metropolitan AME lawsuit. So, how will this legal battle end? Well, the church has already nailed down one key victory. Proud Boys International didn't show up in court, so the company lost by default. And that might let the church's lawyers begin peeling back the onion. For now, the church's lawyers are trying to identify the names of the John Doe Proud Boys, with an eye towards slotting them into the suit. And we don't know how far the judge would go in punishing the group, or how far the church would go in trying to collect. Tario missed his April 30th deadline to hire a lawyer and respond in court, but he told the Washington Times the lawsuit is, quote, frivolous and ridiculous. But if the penalty is big, and the church goes for it, well, the threat of nailing down a large claim could force even the proudest boys to keep their heads down and start watching out for the collection agency. The church might end up owning a bunch of stuff that used to belong to the Proud Boys. Hell, maybe they'll score themselves a new daiquiri stand.